Hello, everybody. How's it going? I'm gonna wait for people to get in here, as always. Let me pop out the chat here. All right. So just another design review, doing these every 2 weeks. I actually might start doing a live stream every Friday, but not like a design review. And I think we'll keep those at every 2 weeks, but I'll do something different for a live stream. I'm still thinking about that. And so just waiting for people to pile in here before I begin. And of course, you'll need to submit everything in Discord. All right. How's it going? All right, so I'm going to get started here. All right, so do we have to submit in general or in review submissions? Yeah, so basically this is something I've been doing for several months now. It's a design review where you can submit any type of design, be it UI design, it could be an identity design like logo design, it could be print design, whatever you want to design. And if you want my feedback and personal take on it, you can submit it. And the way you do this is you click on the Discord link here in the description in YouTube. That will load up Discord. Of course, you're going to need an account. It's free. And then when you join this server, which is what the invitation link is to, you automatically get put into general, I believe. And then you have to click on review submissions, and then you submit your link here. All right. Now, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to have a lot of submissions, and I never get through all of them. And so that's why you can see the little, let me get it out here. There's a pop-up chat. This chat right here, this little money sign, it's called sending in a super chat. So if you do that, you can just submit a certain price, whatever you want to pay, and then mention your username. And your Discord username and submit it there, and then I will definitely do your review no matter what. Okay, so let me close that. Maybe I'll send myself some money. No, I won't do that. All right, so anyhow, yeah, so let's get started here. Initially, we already had a bunch of submissions today when I scheduled the live stream, so I'm just gonna start up here. There's already a ton. It's getting more popular, I guess. All right, so we're gonna start here, and I'm gonna open these up off screen just to make sure nobody's trolling me here. All right, and so we're gonna do keto or Kaido's first review here. Let me make sure, first of all, that everybody can hear me and there's no issues. If there is an issue, of course, someone will tell me. Thank you. Okay. All right, good luck, everyone. All right. Okay, so this is an Adobe XD prototype here. So let's see what happens when you click around. All right. All right, so just the animations are pretty nice. Let me go back. Not sure where the home page was, or the landing page. I can't read. I don't know what this is. This is in English, so therefore I cannot read it. Let me go back here real quick. There we go. All right, so just some thoughts on this. Pretty solid overall. The one thing though that kind of gets lost is, let me get rid of this other window over here. The one thing that gets lost is the call to action button down here because you already have blues. So I'd make this stick out more, either by changing the color. You could even make it white and then obviously change the text to something that contrasts with that. But yeah, right now, being that it's a blue watermark photograph, this part kind of doesn't stick out quite enough, although it's a minor gripe. I would also get rid of this line right here. It's unnecessary, kind of throws off the design. And yeah, outside of that, it's pretty solid. Looking up here, if I click around, this overlay, I would make the overlay a little bit more. I can see there's transparency applied to this, but it's kind of hard to, I don't know. It's a little bit clutters up the design with this background here that you can see. So I would probably make it just completely, solid. Other than that, everything looks pretty solid here. This seems like it might be a little bit too small of text. And this seems pretty nice here. And this looks pretty solid as well. Nice. Thanks for that submission here. Let's go on to the next one. Dribbble. So let's just copy that, paste this in. All right. Already off the bat, I could see these are pretty solid looking. So let's see here. It's kind of hard to see. There's a lot of text and things being overlaid. Let me try a different one. This one's a lot more easier to critique. This is solid though. I don't see any issues with this. Good call to action, good contrast, good type. If you design that yourself, that would be awesome. That illustration, but everything here looks quite solid. Nice, very solid stuff. Very good. You guys are making this too easy on me. Let's check out the next one. All right. All right, who is this? That's the healthcare. Okay, this is VAT. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name. All right, so we have major issues here. Okay, it's kind of hard to even know where to begin. First of all, you need to completely scrap this design. I think me just going over all the things that are wrong with it, it would take a long time. What I want you to do, the person who submitted this, is go to inspiration. Go to Google, type landing page inspiration. There's a bunch of like landingfolio.com. What I want you to do is look at some of these and just try to recreate them. I don't mean copy them, but I mean just recreate them in whatever design application that you use. Recreate them pixel by pixel practically. It's going to help cement and give you muscle memory in terms of what it takes to create that's already solid design or design that's at least a million times better than what you just showed me. And then after you do that for a few weeks, maybe try to then do it on your own. You're going to see that your results are going to improve 1,000 times because there's just too much happening right here that's wrong. You have this very large photograph background. Then you have these sections right here that there's no flow. So what I would highly recommend is doing what I just said, and really spending time looking at and also recreating design from scratch that's based on really solid design. And as you can see, if you go to one of these landing page gallery websites, chances are, they're all pretty solid designs. And so definitely do that. All right. Open link. We'll go to the next one. All right. Yeah, let's translate that. All right, who is this? This is Jonas. All right. I need water. All right, I'm going to refresh this. Let's translate. All right, I just wanted to make sure there was no animation that I didn't miss. All right, let's go down here. All right, so most of it is pretty solid. I would say this part up here needs a little bit of work. And I'm talking about this headline versus this sub headline right here. Now, of course, this is quite large. I mean, it's larger than this text, so you have separated it visually in terms of visual hierarchy, as it's called. But I think you need to work on your line height right here. And also in relation to this, I think they need separated out more. Maybe make this bold, bring them closer together vertically, and possibly think about condensing this as well. It seems like this right here, request a non-binding offer now, should be a button of some sort, because you're asking to take an action, but how do they do that? That should be like a button, and that way you can kind of simplify this part up here. Again, that's minor. I would also probably get rid of these intense drop shadows right here, and simplify that in a different way. Maybe you can have drop shadows, but maybe don't make them real blurred. Maybe just put 0 blur on it, and then I think that would help it bring it into more of the modern era, because this isn't really something that's used quite often. Outside of that, the type and everything looks really good. These are good solid containers with a lot of white space. This is all quite solid as well. This part with the top and bottom border, I would get rid of that, because you already have it encased in this container, and I think just leaving it like this without these borders would be best. I think this hover overlay, when it comes to the type, I think that you probably want to add a little bit more padding in this container. It's a little bit too close, so you may need to scale your text down just slightly for that to work correctly. This is nice though. So that's pretty much the only things I could really find that I could critique. So you're definitely getting more right than you are wrong. All right, let's go. Let's check the chat. Want to make sure everything's going good here. All right, good. All right, let's see here. We're gonna go next one. This is from Philip. All right, so nothing is coming. Okay, so no scrolling. I'm gonna click on portfolio. Okay, it looks like this is unfinished. Same thing with blog, I guess. Sort of. All right, so let's just focus on this landing page here. I wish it gave me the translate option. All right, you need to have a little bit more content here, just because, you have 2 big buttons, portfolio, blog, but you already have buttons up here. I see contact. I'm not sure what these is. Log in. You need to have more content and let people know exactly what's happening here. I'm not sure what this says, but still, it needs to be filled out just a bit more. In terms of the aesthetics, again, there's just not enough for me here to really critique. You have contrast that's working well, and you definitely have simplicity, but like I said, you should probably get at least another, like a sub headline here, a more proper call to action. Just having 2 big buttons like this side by side, especially if this is a portfolio, which I assume it is. You're given the same amount of emphasis on the portfolio button as you are the blog button, and that doesn't really make sense. Most people aren't going to care about your blog. That should be an afterthought. That should be up here somewhere. So again, get it. Keep your headline. Get like a few sentences, and then also a more, I would say, more proper button. Just a big old square like this isn't ideal. and just link only the portfolio and put that blog link up here somewhere, and that would make more sense. And also I would probably work on your navigation up here. It's just centered like this with the your name left aligned. Doesn't really make sense. So I would take this and just push it to the right and right align it, and that way it encases the design much better. Thanks for the submission. Let's do the next one. All right. So, all right, this is pretty solid from what I'm seeing here. So do these work? Yeah, they do. How about photos, about me, contact? Okay, so it's just this. I like it. Very simple. Obviously a different approach. You know, a lot of people are putting their headlines and sub-headlines either middle or left align more towards the top, but this still works, right? Because you're really giving emphasis to the photographs here. The contrast works well. Very simple. Not a ton here for me to critique, but what you're doing, I do like. So thanks for that. All right, web designer and front-end developer. All right, let's scroll. All right, so up here, the part above the fold, I would probably dim this out just a little bit more so you can have more contrast. But this obviously is extremely simple. I almost think you need a more prominent call to action. I see the scroll down here, but it's almost an afterthought. Some people may not even see that. So I would maybe make a nice button, you know, that would direct them to the area of the page that you want them to go. Next is this section. Yeah, definitely get rid of how jarring this is when you hover over this. Look what it's doing to the design. So there's ways to do that through CSS to make sure it's more smooth. Contrast is working well. You have that. You have padding and white space. That's working pretty well. One thing that's kind of throwing me off here is how intense this these background photograph elements are. I think I can see that it has their fixed position, but I think that they contrast way too much, and too much is happening where it throws a person off a little bit. So what you can do is you can keep them, but really, you know, take the opacity so that it's almost the same color as this portion, but still that it's a watermark and you can still see the effect, but the effect won't be so significant. Now this part, this about me section, is just, there's not really much layout occurring here. So I would rethink this so you can perhaps put this into 2 columns so you can fill out the area more, at least here on, you know, the desktop resolution. All right. I mean, like this section, I like this a lot. There's more of a layout that's going on here. So there's just small, minute things. Also, you have questions over here in one column, and then you have the next column, you have any more questions, but you have this text centered. It throws off the flow. I would push this over a little bit more here so that U starts right here, and then left align both of those. So yeah, just small things with your type, and also these images. I think they could be more subtle just by dropping the opacity down. All right, let's check the chat real quick. All right. All right, got 152 people here watching. Not bad. Also, we have a ton of submissions, by the way, so you can send a super chat there in the chat window, pay me a little bit of money, and I will do your review. All right, who's the next one? Yeah. So I guess this is just an image here. Looks pretty good. The progress bar itself, yeah, I have no gripes with this. Obviously, there's not too much for me to critique, but this works. I'm not too sure about the number thing, but yeah, good stuff. I'm just looking for the next one. All right. All right, we will do primes. All right. All right, I like the colors. The yellow, the black and the white, and the turquoise, these all, or the teal color, these all work well together. Navigation, pretty solid. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the separators right here, but still pretty solid. These over here, maybe a little bit too close together, but that's still very minor stuff. Everything else I see here is pretty solid. Definitely more in the abstract, which makes sense if you're an art director. So, all right, certifications, that works. Good white space. The type is good. You can see it. Contrasts well. All right, it's career. Yeah, this is all pretty solid. It's a little bit cluttered here in this area, but it's not bad. One thing is this previously text is very similar to the text right here, the actual company names that you've worked with or worked for or whatever. So it kind of gets lost in here. So you can remedy that in a number of ways through scale, color, etc. But again, very minor stuff. I like this this style of the thumbnail gallery. Yeah, very solid. Good stuff. All right. This is a web app for what? Medical services. Kind of hard to see on my monitor because this is a larger image, but from what I see here, pretty solid navigation. Solid sub-navigation here. 3-column layout that looks pretty solid. The type looks good. Icons look good. Yeah, nothing for me to really say negative about that. All right, so let's see here. Let me load this up over here. Theme editor. For a list of variables and what they're used for, click here. I'm not really certain what's happening here. Like I don't want to choose a file. What type of file am I choosing? I'm kind of confused about exactly what's happening here. Theme editor. All right, well, maybe you can provide some additional context to this a little bit later on down there. I mean, but from what I see here, I mean, obviously it's very monotone. I would definitely integrate color to it, but I'm not exactly sure if the color is supposed to change based on what you choose or whatever. But from what I see here in and of itself, I definitely want to give a little bit more life to it, at least in this section, this bar up here. I would give that a color or make it black or yeah, something like that. I could see, like, for instance, also choose a file. You know, it's just so gray. Make this pop stick out quite a bit more than it is now. All right. Oh wait. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to be downloading files and stuff on here because I'm not. I don't even know what. Oh, screw it. Let me see here. I'm doing this off screen right now. I'm going to be showing all my files here. Choose a file. Oh, okay. That's all it was. It's just showing the file over there. All right. So let's go on next. Let's see here. Check this one I made recently. It uses local storage on cookies for login, so please. All right. You're going to make me register? All right. Suggested password. Okay. Well, come on. Are you going to copy this? Oh, come on. There we go. All right, I'm going to log in here. All right. All right. Let's see here. Okay, Planet Cinema. The one main problem right off the bat that I see here is this Planet Cinema. I can barely even read it. So, yeah, make this pop out or stick out or contrast, obviously, a lot more. As for the actual movies, they're a little bit hard to see where the containers begin and end, simply because the background and how blurred out these are. So maybe change the background to be maybe perhaps a little bit lighter. Like for instance, right here on the edge of this one, it kind of just bleeds right into the background. Other than that, it's pretty solid. I like the structure of these. Obviously, as well, I would make this a when you hover over them. Well, no, that's fine because there is a section here you're supposed to click. So I'll rate this. All right, that's cool. Cool effect. Nice. I would probably, for that overlay, I would make this so that when that the text comes up, maybe put it inside of a container of sorts, just so, because it's a little bit hard, it's a little bit cluttered when you see all this other all the other text. But yes, still very solid. I like the interaction-based animations. Awesome, good stuff. Continue on. I've been doing this for 27 minutes so far. I'll do this for an hour. All right. Okay. All right, so from what I see here, it looks pretty solid. You have a lot of the basics down for sure, the fundamentals for UI design. I would probably move this up a little bit closer because things are a little bit just spaced out to the point at which it's a little bit harder to follow these different sections of type-based content. But still very minor what I'm talking about. One tool that I've been using for these is Contrast, which is a plugin that I covered on a video. And what it allows you to do is you can choose a certain piece of text, and based on the background, it'll let you know if there's too much if there's not enough contrast. And it does this based on specific guidelines from W3C in terms of like color blindness and all that stuff. So it's a pretty good tool to use. So if I choose inspect right here, it's going to say fail. So there's not enough contrast on this text because you do have it gray. It doesn't mean it has to be black, because if you choose auto, oh, okay, it updated recently. So it has either a AA or a AAA rating. So if the AA rating is like a minimum level of acceptability for contrast, and then AAA is like, I think, maximum. So it just gets a little darker. So we've now fixed it. All right. So this is a cool plugin. It is like, I think it's like $3, $4, or $5 or something like that. It's just a one-time fee. But if we do AAA, it looks like this might actually be black, or it's very close to it. So yeah, definitely increase the contrast here. Outside of that, everything's solid here. Nice sort of vertical navigation. Something tells me there's not enough contrast though on these elements. Oh, it only said it passed because we hovered over it. Yeah. You can pick colors though. Where's it at? Yeah, see, it says fail. So you'll want to increase the contrast there as well. But everything else here is solid. Very good stuff. All right. Let's continue on. Make sure I get everybody. So again, I'll be doing this for 30 minutes, 30 more minutes. And if I don't get to your submission, you can send a super chat. I know it sounds like I'm spamming that, but there's people always continually coming in and out of this live feed. Sounds like I'm hard up for money or something. All right, so, all right, here's a Behance portfolio. All right, there's a daily UI challenge here. I'll click on this. All right, so this seems pretty solid from what I'm seeing. Yeah. Video Copilot. Yeah, I actually used Video Copilot a long time ago to learn After Effects. But this looks solid, pretty solid to me. Let's keep on going down. Again, pretty solid for what it is. This is solid. Yeah, when the hell is cryptocurrency ever coming back? I haven't checked the prices in a long time. Oh my God, $5,600. That sucks. I was huge into IOTA as well. I bought in when it was like 40 cents and then it shot up to $5. Yeah. And I didn't sell then. I sold it like $1.20. Oh well. All right. So yeah, this is all solid. From what I see in terms of UI design, no issues here that I see. I'll check out maybe one more. Here's brand identity plot. Okay, so we got a P in here. It's a nice sort of mark that I like. Yeah. Nice. This person seems to know what they're doing quite well. TubeBuddy. I use TubeBuddy. As you can, where is it up there? It's one of these icons. As well for my YouTube channel. Very solid. Great work. Let me check the chat, make sure everything's going okay. Ooh, okay. All right. We'll do this one next. Thank you for the super chat. I don't really know what NOK 50 is. It'd be awesome if that was 50 US dollars, but I'm assuming it's not. All right. All right, so, all right, checking this one out. All right, so nice background effect. Everything's very clean here. I like the type. I would say one thing is what I've talked about a few times already is that visual hierarchy here, where we have several different types of content. You have your name, you have a subtitle or a subheading, and these are separated out pretty well. I would maybe change, try to introduce another level of separation visually between these two elements, either by making this a less bold weight, or changing up the color perhaps, maybe to this color right here, the secondary color. Then we have pretty close up to it is this, which is kind of a second descriptor of what you do. And right now underneath it, you have this as well. So you have 4 different things occurring within this small space, and it kind of makes it cluttered. So when you have things like that are occurring, you need to really try to think about how you can separate these things even more so visually. And there's a number of ways to do it, working in different containers of sorts, spacing things out in terms of white space and such. But for what this is, for this next where it has your projects that you've listed, this is all solid. So you can see here, when you're working with 3 different things, you have the site title, the technology used, and then a description. It's separated out pretty well right here. Whereas when you go up here, they're still separated visually, but it's just not enough in my opinion. But yeah, these this here, obviously very simple landing page, which is what you want, which is what potential employers or clients want as well. So yeah, nothing really here outside of what I mentioned, just to separate things to critique here. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so continuing on. Oh, okay, awesome. Thank you for that again. Okay, so let's continue going here. So this is the next one. All right, I need water. All right, so okay, so initial impression is this is solid. I like the headline. The sub-headline works, and the learn more works as well. It's a little bit washed out. I maybe like just very slightly darken the green, but only very slightly. Same thing with the get healthy now. It's going to be a little bit hard to read for some people. Another thing I noticed here is you may not even be able to notice it on my monitor or on the video stream because it's so subtle, is there is a background color here, but it's almost so white that you can't even notice it. I would make this darker so that it contrasts more. You can see there's a clear shape that's occurring here along the bottom, and I think that would help. But it doesn't have to be much, just like a couple shades, and it'll work. Looking at this part, this seems to work. You can see like your contrast is very, very subtle on some of these elements. Yeah, I just think making this one pop out or contrast more would be best. And then we have another container here, which is also so subtle that I can barely even see it. So I would definitely make a background on this as well, so that these containers of content are more separated visually. But outside of that, this is solid. Good call to action. Definitely would do well at generating emails and converting to leads. My clients are saying. All right. Again, same thing here. This background is barely noticeable. All right. Other than that, very solid though. Good type and contrast on the type elements at least. All right, let's do the next one. Songcool. All right, let me go to the next, or go back to the chat rather. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, I said Songcool. It's Songcool, Q-L-E. All right. Okay, so I didn't. Okay, that's a Dribbble.com subdomain. I didn't know they had that. All right. Well, anyhow, this is another one of those areas where, okay, so on a desktop resolution, you definitely would want to push things down your avatar, just because you do have the space. It's kind of up high, and then. But I had the same comment just from I think 2 submissions ago, where you have 4 different types of text and they're kind of running close together. So try to separate those out in a little bit of a different fashion. It's not a huge issue. I mean, people could see it, but just to separate them out a little bit more would be best. And it doesn't mean you have to just put more white space between each of these 4 elements. You could think of how to structure it differently, perhaps, and maybe even in 2 columns or something like that. But outside of that, everything is simple. So you have simplicity. You have the type works in terms of the font. I like it. The gallery is very simple as well. Simple hover. And this works as well. Everything's separated out quite nice. Maybe make this stand out a little bit more. Very good. Very solid. Awesome. All right, thanks for that. Awesome. All right, thank you. This guy just keeps on sending me money. Well, we'll do it. All right, so looking at this, and by the way, everybody's going to hate you in the chat. All right, so looking at this, solid up here. Man, I wish does it give me the translate? Yes, translate. There we go. All right, good call to action, sticks out well. The type works, this part works, everything is solid. So let's continue on. Accelerate MVP, okay. This works as well. I don't really have any critiques about this section. Now, one thing I'm curious about is let's see here. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, when it comes to containers like this that are a smaller or width, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, you do have a lot of space over here that you could potentially use for other things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to. But from what I see here, outside of that, this is all solid. So this is development of modern. Okay, so you have a contact. The primary objective of this page is to get people to contact you, to inquire about work and such. So I would do something. If you have all this space here, maybe do some sort of sticky element where you have a permanent call to action, or this contact us or hire us or something. That way, when they scroll down, they don't have to scroll back up to hit this contact button. People are calling me. And so, and then also add one down here as well. Yeah, so that would make a little bit more sense. In terms of design, from what's here, it's all solid. I have no issues with this. The color's great. Scale is great. Hierarchy is great. We can understand what's happening and what we should follow. Very good. Thanks again for the other super chat there. Awesome. All right, so let's continue on. We have this next one, Mox Design. Wait a second. Did I see this already? I think I did. Yeah, I already reviewed that one. All right, so let's do this one. Oh, that's cool. Sort of cool. It was unexpected. All right. So I would probably put your name at least somewhere up here. I know it's in the domain name, but still having it somewhere seems like it would be a good idea, just so people know. Let's see what happens when we click on this. Oh, I like that. All right, so one issue though is, after you have this come up, you have this full kind of splash or hero section, but people may not know that they can scroll down. So I would either put a button here or make it have, scroll down to that position by default. The profile text right here, I would make that, if you're going to keep it, I would make it much larger. I mean, it gets lost in this picture. It's kind of hard to see. All right. So down here, this text, what I would honestly do is take this graphic right here. You could probably keep it and just like slice it up, maybe about 1/3 the height, so it'll end right here, and then just move this stuff up so people don't have to scroll to reach and to access this information, because that's kind of an annoying thing, and people aren't going to like that, or they're not even going to know it's there. I definitely like the animations. That's very cool. So I would just, again, I would rework this so that people don't have to scroll down. See, just this little button down here isn't enough. It's not obvious enough. Plus, making people scroll just to access content, and you have this massive area here, it isn't probably a great idea. Other than that, I like everything else, though, for sure. Very, very cool. Like those animations. We're going to start seeing a lot of cool animations on the web, even more so, I believe. All right, let me check the chat here. All right. All right. Well, it's going on for 45 minutes so far, so I'll be doing this for about 15, 20 more minutes. If you want me to review your design, I'm not going to get to all of them. Just send a super chat. I'm tired. I am tired. All right, so what is this? Idea team. All right, it is a simple app icon. Well, there's not enough context for me to know exactly, you know, what idea team is about and to ascertain whether or not this is effective. One thing I definitely can tell you is, you know, I like this sort of this mark right here, but this, whatever this is down here, when you view it on actual size on a phone, like on an iPhone or something, it's going to get lost. You're not even going to be able to see the fine details of this. I mean, probably just barely. Outside of that, I like this mark, but again, I don't have enough to really go on about what's happening or what that project is about. All right. So continuing on. How am I doing? I'm on a bowling league, and last night was my bowling night, and I think I drank a little bit too much alcohol. That's how I'm doing. So, all right. So let's see here. This is for a web application that basically has machine learning. One will deploy in the background. I'm just reading this real quick. All right. Not sure if there's supposed to be audio here or not, because I don't hear any. But if we're just talking about the design of things, all right. That sounds like a cool concept, by the way. Based on the design here, I would definitely get rid. I can see like there's like a 1 pixel black border on these. I would get rid of that first and foremost. I would also experiment with changing this background color. It's like a mid-range contrast, as it's like a mid-gray, but I think maybe you can make it even a little bit darker. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But yeah, I would like to have heard some audio. I know it's just a UI design, or it's probably something that's not in production yet. But for what it is and these the rest of the design, I do like it. Simple enough. You can understand what's happening. By the way, I have a project. It's a college project. I have a project that I think would be really cool for someone to tackle. Where is it at? 1 second. I'm going to show you. Hold on. It's an Adobe XD prototype that I made, but I uploaded a video of me using it as well. Let me go to my YouTube account. I'm looking off screen. I'm not just looking off into the distance, as it probably looks like. Here it is. Okay, I'm going to bring this into view. So as some of you know, I have a second YouTube channel where I focus on guitar and stuff like that, and recording. And I came up with this idea. These guitar challenges are kind of popular, where a YouTuber will post a certain challenge, like a guitar lick, and people can communicate. They can share their progress through like Instagram videos, and they'll use a tag, and that's how they do it. I thought it'd be really cool to have a service geared towards that, with like a virtual what do you call it, guitar neck down here that I designed. Let me show you the interaction that I created with this. All right, so you would be able to click play, and it will show you the exact notes of what you need to play for the challenge. And then you can create a challenge here and create your own sort of tab based on clicking the notes. I don't know. I personally don't have enough time to do that. That'd be awesome if somebody would do it. We can like partner up and all that good stuff. All right, anyhow, let's get back to the reviews. Let's see here. We'll open this link. I'm going to check the chat before I review this one, though. All right, we got another one. Stay hydrated. I am. All right, let's do this one. Thank you for that. For the Luke, for the super chat. All right. Okay, so the most important area of this design, obviously, is request or free callback in this area right here. It doesn't stick out enough. What I would do is use this orangish sort of background color and place it on this, and also on top of that, I would give it more white space on this container, or padding. So you would add padding on this container even more so, because it's still a little bit too close. You really want it to be centered quite a bit. So if I get out my inspector here and I go to this section, I would be taking the padding from the right, like if it's at 31 pixels, I put it maybe to 50 pixels. And unfortunately, it's not applying it to where I want it to, but you get the point. So just more padding on that, and also the background color. Can I change that background color? I'm not even sure. It looks like it's a part of possibly like an image or something. Let's see here. Outside of that, window blinds, plantation shutters. You know, I'm almost wondering if you could put those all on one line. I'm not sure, because they are kind of larger, but that's okay. Everything else here is pretty solid. Just from this point, I'm going to scroll down. All right, about section. I would consider putting this maybe in 2 columns, where you have this information either to the left or right, and then some other supporting maybe illustration or content. I mean, still, I'm being kind of nitpicky here. Solid otherwise. I like this. You can definitely see the labels, and I like the nice separation between the thumbnails. This here works. This is a much more effective area for getting the email addresses and phone numbers. And most importantly, that's the goal here of this this section. Yeah, this is pretty solid here. I mean, the type works well. Good letter spacing, or not letter spacing, but white space. I would probably put more emphasis on this area. I'd make this text bigger, definitely bigger for what it is. And Book Now a little bit bigger as well. Contrast and color though, all that is solid. This is solid over here. All right, so you definitely a lot of forms on this page, but you know they work. Outside of just a few of the areas that I mentioned, I would say this up here, the most important element on this entire page. Yeah, make this stand out more for sure, for sure. All right, thanks for the super chat. Wait, did I just screw up? I need to design that website. That's Dribbble template. Okay, I can't even remember what the hell I was, which one you were. Oh well, sorry about that. Let's continue on with this. All right, where was I? I had somebody else's ready to go. Yes. It's 54 minutes. I'll be doing this for a little bit more, but if you do send a super chat, I will get to yours no matter what. Obviously, if you guys are way down here, I'm not getting to them today, unfortunately. All right, so we're going to with right here. All right, hopefully if I click on this, nothing bad happens. I'm just taking it off just in case, you know, if there's nudity or something. I got the vibe that could possibly be a situation. So, okay. All right. So this is definitely interesting. never seen kind of like a portfolio based or an image based website do this. So that's interesting. Huh. That is cool though. Let's click on one of these. All right. Oh, very interesting. Very cool. I'm not too sure about this, hiding the name like this. It is cool that it gets revealed kind of a little bit. I might rework that just a bit. One thing as well, the overlay right here of the menu and the name gets lost in the image. So I would figure out a way to get that. I might take this section, put it in a container, something that contrasts well with whatever colors are in the background, and then maybe push it over to the right somewhere. And then that way it's a little bit more, you know, each you know, photography project has, you know, its own area. Yeah, but I do like this. It's definitely unique. I haven't not really seen a design like that. Now, this for this overlay, you can definitely do one of these massive overlays. In fact, I did a tutorial about one of these a couple weeks ago. But I see we have home, about, and contact, and then mixed in is main. A few of these other links. I would separate these out into two different sort of submenus. You have the room, obviously, if you're going to do a big overlay like this. But yeah, very definitely on the unique side. Let's continue on. All right, sweet. Your Electron app design. Thank you for that. Electron app designs, okay. All right. Okay, so this is for obviously desktop applications through Electron. All right. Looking at this for what it is, it's very simple. Obviously, no color, but therefore everything is contrasting well. /Linux. Okay. This close app button, I would probably change that into something that's more familiar based on a desktop, like an X or something. If you want it to look and feel like an actual desktop or native desktop application. But for what this is, obviously there's not a lot here happening. But for what you have going here, it definitely does work. Let's check another one, a calculator. All right, very simple. Again, the about and close, I would make those more traditional in terms of the menus and such. All right, /social. Looking at this. These work. This seems to work as well. I might make this bold. Yeah. Looking at this other stuff, these are all pretty solid looking from here. And we'll check one more, weather. I like this one probably the most because you've used color quite well here. And the whole, again, same comment about the buttons. Just make that a nice X and people would understand it. But yeah, this is solid in my opinion. Yeah. All right. Overall, pretty solid. You're definitely on the right track. Thank you for the super chat. Check this again. All right. All right, guys. I'm going to do one more review down here because it is 59 minutes already. And then if you still want me to review your project, you can send a super chat. And of course, that's done by just clicking this button and then super chat and then, you know, put it all the way up to like $400 ideally. And then, no, all right, I'll shut up. All right, so let's do the next one. I believe this is the next one on the list. All right. So just looking at this top part, I'm not even going to scroll down yet. It seems like, all right, so we have the name. Does that stay? Okay, yeah, it does. All right, so with the background that you have here, especially with the clouds on the right side, the type over here gets kind of lost. So I would probably separate these out more, put more space in between them, and also make them bold, and that will really separate it much more from the background. This over here, there's a slightly uneven amount of white space from the top and left. I know that's a small gripe, but it does make a big difference. And especially maybe on this larger desktop resolution, you know, pushing this over more and perhaps down a little bit more so it's framed a little bit better. Outside of that, these work. Yep, I like those. All right, so now this background here with these boxes in relation to the type on top of it, that it's creating, it clutters it too much. So I would probably take down the opacity of these even more so that it doesn't clutter this section and this section right here, because this is hard to read. I know it's lorem ipsum text, but assuming it was real text, it would still be hard to read. All right, so this is hurting my eyeballs. Too much yellow going on, I would say, in such a big area where you have a massive form like this. I would probably use something different for the background. Maybe stick with a conventional white or off-white. Get these right here pushed over to the left so that they begin with the actual input fields vertically or on the same column. Other than that, I like this call to action button there. And then this right here, this section where you have a bunch of quotes or testimonials. They're too kind of just cluttered together, if you will, if you understand what I'm saying. I would try to maybe think of a way to maybe use animation, CSS animation, to cycle in some of these so that you don't have to put all of them right here in this big kind of smorgasbord of testimonials or whatever these are, whatever is occurring here. So you could probably show 3 at a time and then just have like a right and left, like a carousel, essentially. But yeah, other than that, solid stuff. All right, so I'm going to check out our chat here. Oh, all right. Let me get rid of here. Okay, we got 2 more that just came in. Thank you for that. So we'll get to the first one. Then again, if you guys do want, if anyone wants me to do their review, I will do it. If you do a super chat like this dude. All right, so let's close out of there. All right, let's hit agree there to get rid of that. Okay, so one thing I'm not sure of is if when you, all right, that initial overlay about the cookies and agreeing to it. I'm not sure if I would overlay on top of my navigation like that. I would put that somewhere else if possible. All right. Looking at this though, I like the colors. This type of purple, the white background, I like it. The navigation, I would probably push this premium section or this button over just a little bit more to the right. Save your time. Good headline in terms of separating it out visually with your subheadline. That's very clear. All right, now this over here, grinding is boring. Don't sit in front of your computer for hours. Spend time with them. You enjoy only the fun part. I'm not sure what this is over here exactly. So I would rework this, either the position of this, because you have more room right here. You could probably center it maybe a little bit more, or make it bigger and come out. And also in terms of what it is, I'm not exactly sure what it is. And and I'm not exactly sure what is happening, like what the purpose of the site is. It says save your time, and it says let's be honest, grinding is boring. Don't sit in front of your computer for hours. Spend time with family and enjoy only the fun part of the game. So I'm not exactly sure. This is a game. I've been out of PC gaming for a long time, but this does look like a familiar title right here. Oh man, my age is showing. This is great though. Right here, the nice headline with nice card-based features, and this works very well. Good white space. Everything looks really good right there. Right here, the headline to subheadline. I would probably space this out a little bit more, top and bottom, because it's kind of close to this section right here, but still solid overall. And yeah, overall very solid. I would just pay attention to this section over here, the illustration, and maybe more clearly defining exactly what's happening here. Thank you for the super chat. All right, so Sunly. Let me scroll back up here to find his submission. I wish I could do a Control F here to find a person's username and find where they posted something. Because I remember doing his. But yeah, what is it? It's already an hour and 6 minutes. So if you, again, you have like 1 minute left if you want to do a super chat, anybody. And you can still send that, and I will do a review. Otherwise, I'm going to be concluding here. All right, well, son, if you did want me to review something, I mentioned earlier you have to put in the name or the address, so I'll wait a little bit more. If you do actually want me to review something, go ahead and mention it in the either here or in the super chat or the chat area. Oh, okay. I get it now. I see. I was yeah, I did a critique of the template, as it were. I didn't understand that this was something that he didn't design. This is all right. Sorry about that. Let me look at his actual work. That's what he wanted. Thank you. Okay. All right. I'm gonna increase the browser size, zoom up a little bit, just so I can see what's happening here. All right. So we got one of those Dribbble. Let's just check out a different one though. All right. So for what this is, there's a demo prototype. Can I click that? Oh, there we go. I'm just using this for a second. So one thing that's off about this particular design is the background, I think. Not enough contrast for the foreground elements. So when it comes to primary page content like backgrounds, you're going to either want to go real dark or real light. So that could be black or that could be white, or something close. But this is kind of just in the middle, sort of desaturated blue. It looks like bluish gray. And so things aren't able to contrast well when you have that mid-range sort of lightness occurring. So I would definitely improve that aspect of it. In terms of the actual layout and such, it looks pretty solid to me. And then small things like this button, it looks like it's kind of collapsed a little bit. Let's check out another, oh crap. Let me go back there. Did not mean to close. I thought that was a, what do you call? Another tab that was open. All right, so we'll check out, let's see here. So even when it comes to something like this, like a simple poster or meme-based illustration, where you have an illustration of like a knife of some sort, to really make your elements stick out well, you got to pay attention to contrast. So this kind of gets lost because the background brown with this gray, things clash together. So you want things, your important elements to really contrast. So this is indicative of pretty much all design, not just UI design, but poster design and print design as well. All right, so here's a logo design I'll take a look at. So one of the things that I think is throwing this particular example off is having this very traditional looking serif font combined with this very futuristic type or logo right here. So if you're going to have a slogan, try to stick, mixing and matching serif with sans serif is difficult to do. And especially for a logo, I don't think you should do it at all. So just make this a more simple sans serif font. Yeah, because they feel completely separate. They're not like even though they're obviously this is separate physically from this element, but the style is very separate. Other than that, I like the actual word mark, and I like this as well. If you actually did design this, this part right here, this type, very solid. But again, it's probably be a little bit. In this case, it's not too bad. The other case, the logo was very futuristic, the main word mark. So it didn't make sense. But this is actually not too bad. I would probably still opt to go to sans serif. All right, other than that, pretty solid. Yeah, it's just the contrast and color issues that I've seen here that could be improved. All right. All right, so that is it. All right, guys. Oh, man, I'm tired. Let's see. It's an hour and 12 minutes. Yeah, I will. I might be back next Friday, not for a portfolio review. I might do some other new sort of live stream show. I'm not sure what I would do yet, but it will be live, and I'm not promising anything. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it, but I kind of want to do something live each week. But yeah. All right. So in 2 weeks, we'll have another one of these. So if I didn't get to yours, just try to show up. I'm doing these at 11 a.m. now on Fridays. So just try to show up. Hang out in the chat here on Discord as well. There's always people in here. We have a lot of people. There's 228 people in here right now. And so, yeah. All right. I will see you guys later. And thanks to all those who did send in a super chat. All right. See you guys later.